In the golden era of Japanese sports cars, one name often goes unnoticed, overshadowed by Supras, RX-7s, and Skylines. But there's a beast from Mitsubishi that deserves its moment in the spotlight. Let's take a ride back to 1996 and meet the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, a car that was way ahead of its time and yet, somehow, faded into the shadows. Today, we're diving deep into what made the 3000 GT a technological marvel, a misunderstood legend, and why it still turns heads almost 3 decades later. At first glance, the 1996 Mitsubishi 3000 GT looks like it was born to race. With its low stance, wide body, pop-up headlights, and sleek curves, it embodies that 90s Japanese sports car DNA. But what really set it apart wasn't just how it looked, it was what Mitsubishi packed underneath the hood. Under that long, sloping bonnet sat a 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine, putting out 320 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque in the VR4 variant. This was paired with a 6-speed manual transmission and sent power to all 4 wheels. That's right, this was an all-wheel drive sports car in the mid-90s, a rarity back then. The result? A 0 to 60 time of just over 5 seconds. Not bad for a car that weighed nearly 3,800 pounds. But speed was just one piece of the puzzle. The 3000 GT was packed with tech. It had active aerodynamics, an adjustable rear spoiler and front air dam that changed angle based on speed. It came with electronically controlled suspension that adjusted damping on the fly. There was even 4-wheel steering. Yes, the rear wheels turned slightly to help with cornering at higher speeds. These were features that wouldn't become mainstream until decades later. Mitsubishi wasn't playing it safe, they were going all in. Inside, the 3000 GT was just as impressive. The cabin wrapped around the driver like a cockpit, with a deep instrument cluster, supportive leather seats, and all the creature comforts you'd expect from a Grand Tourer. Power everything, a premium sound system, even an optional digital climate control. It felt futuristic, sporty, and solid. But with all that tech came a price. Literally. The 3000 GT VR4 cost over $45,000 in the mid-90s, which was more than a Corvette. And while it was fast, it wasn't the lightest or most agile. That all-wheel drive and tech made it heavy. Enthusiasts who craved raw, rear-wheel drive fun often went for the Supra or RX-7 instead. Maintenance was also a challenge. The complexity of the systems, especially the turbos, active aero, and electronics, meant repairs weren't cheap or easy. Still, for those who got behind the wheel, the 3000 GT offered a unique driving experience. It gripped the road like few others, especially in wet or unstable conditions. The turbos kicked in with a satisfying rush, and that V6 growl reminded you that this wasn't just some show car, it had serious bite. The base models were naturally aspirated, front-wheel drive, and less powerful, around 222 horsepower, but they still carried the same bold design and decent performance. There was also a rare version called the 3000 GT Spider, which featured a retractable hardtop roof. Very few were made, and today they're collector gold. Over the years, the 3000 GT struggled to keep up with tightening emissions standards and rising costs. By the time the early 2000s hit, it was phased out quietly. No big farewell. No massive hype. It just disappeared. But car enthusiasts never really forgot. And today, the VR4 versions are making a comeback in the world of JDM collectors. So what makes the 3000 GT special today? It's the ambition. Mitsubishi aimed to create a flagship that could compete with the best in the world, and in many ways, they succeeded. This wasn't just a sports car, it was a rolling showcase of what technology could do in the 90s. It was a car that dared to be different. Yes, it had its downsides. The weight, the complicated systems, the price tag. But it was also bold, fast, and futuristic in a way few cars were at the time. And now, in the era of retro appreciation, the 3000 GT is finally getting the respect it deserves. If you ever get the chance to drive one, especially the VR4, take it. It's not just a car. It's a time capsule, a piece of JDM history, and a reminder that sometimes, the most underrated machines are the ones that leave the biggest impression. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the 1996 Mitsubishi 3000 GT. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories from the world of cars, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button. This is Auto Garage, and we've got a lot more rides to explore.